your pocket change could be hiding $1 million. I'm talking about the Lincoln Wheat Penny, and some are worth a jaw-dropping $2.3 million. Stick around, because today we're showing you exactly which ones to look for. There is a silent fortune hiding in plain sight. It sits in old coffee cans, forgotten desk drawers, and dusty mason jars in attics across America. It is the 1941 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark, and a single specimen of this coin has the potential to transform your financial future, commanding a staggering market value of up to $612,000. But here is the question that will haunt you. Have you already spent one? Stop what you are doing right now. Look at the loose change in your pocket, the jar on your nightstand, the coins collecting dust in your car's cup holder. That humble copper penny from 1941 could be the difference between pocket change and a life-changing payday. This is the story of the ghost coin, the minting errors that make it a legend, and why the window of opportunity to find one is closing faster than you think. The 1941 Lincoln Wheat Penny sits at a crossroads of American history. Minted just before the attack on Pearl Harbor thrust the United States into World War II, these coins represent the final chapter of an era. They were struck during a time of recovery from the Great Depression, when Americans were carefully counting every cent, never imagining that some of those very cents would one day be worth more than most houses. The obverse features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, whose work was personally selected by President Theodore Roosevelt to bring artistic merit to American coinage. The reverse displays 2 stalks of durum wheat, symbols of prosperity and growth that gave the series its beloved nickname. Here is where the story takes its first sharp turn. The 1941 penny was produced in staggering quantities. The Philadelphia Mint alone struck 887,018,000 of these coins, the 6th highest mintage for the entire wheat cent series. With numbers like that, you might assume every 1941 penny is worthless. And for the vast majority, that assumption is correct. Most circulated specimens trade for somewhere between 5 cents and 80 cents. Uncirculated examples might fetch $1 to $5. A pristine red specimen in MS-66 condition could reach $24. But then there are the outliers, the ghosts, the coins that escaped the Philadelphia Mint with errors so subtle, so easily overlooked, that they have become the holy grail of modern numismatics. Take a moment to really look at a 1941 penny. Turn it over in your hand. The absence of a mint mark beneath the date tells you it was born in Philadelphia, the only mint that traditionally never placed a P on its cents during this era. For decades, collectors dismissed Philadelphia issues as common, ordinary, unremarkable. But that dismissal has created the perfect storm for those who know what to look for. Because hidden among nearly 900 million coins are specimens that the mint never intended to release. The first error that sends shivers down a collector's spine is the double die obverse, or DDO. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives a second, misaligned impression during the hubbing process. The result is a crisp secondary image that appears as a shadow or double line behind the letters. On the 1941 penny, you need to examine the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" with a magnifying glass. Look closely at the date, particularly the number 4. Check Lincoln's eye, his bow tie, and the word "trust," where the doubling is most pronounced. If you see it, you are not looking at a damaged coin. You are looking at a second chance at wealth. There are at least 3 different double die varieties known for the 1941 cent. The Type 1 shows fairly strong doubling at Liberty, weaker doubling at Trust, and doubling of the 4 in the date. The Type 2 commands a slight premium with strong doubling at both Trust and the W of WE. The Type 3 is identified by faint doubling on the 1 and 9 of the date and, perhaps most distinctively, on Lincoln's earlobe. These are not manufacturing defects in the conventional sense. They are the fingerprints of history, evidence of a minting process that, for all its precision, could still produce miracles. Then there is the double die reverse, or DDR. Flip the coin over and examine the wheat stalks and the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. True DDR examples exhibit sharp, well-defined double lines, not the soft, smeared distortion of machine doubling. A genuine 1941 DDR is even rarer than its obverse counterpart, making it a prize for any serious collector. Prices for these errors typically range from $25 to $175, but in exceptional condition, the sky is the limit. But wait, there is more. Off-center strikes, where the design is improperly centered on the coin blank. Lamination errors, where impurities in the metal cause the surface to flake or peel. Die cracks that appear as small raised lines across the coin's surface. Each of these minting mistakes transforms an ordinary penny into a potential treasure. And yet, the most valuable 1941 pennies are those that combine multiple errors or survive in virtually untouched condition. Let me pause here and ask you a direct question. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? Not glanced at it, not dropped it into a tip jar, but really examined it under good light, tilting it to catch the shadows? If you have a jar of old coins sitting somewhere in your home, you are sitting on a lottery ticket you have never scratched. The difference between a 5-cent penny and a $600,000 penny is often nothing more than a few seconds of careful observation. Now, let us talk about that $612,000 figure. You have heard me say it, but let it sink in. $612,000 for a single penny. While the vast majority of 1941 no-mint mark pennies are worth face value or slightly more, the auction records for exceptional examples tell a different story. A proof 1941 Lincoln cent graded PR67 has sold for $28,200. A superb gem uncirculated specimen in MS67 condition can reach $5,250. A regular strike MS65 specimen achieved $4,994 at auction in 2013. And yet, the true upper echelon, those coins with the perfect combination of pristine preservation, striking errors, and collector demand, have the potential to reach astronomical heights. Here is the sobering reality. The number of surviving 1941 pennies in high-grade condition diminishes every year. Coins get lost, melted down, damaged, or simply worn away through decades of circulation. The window to find these treasures in the wild is closing. Every old collection that gets sold for scrap, every jar of pennies that gets dumped into a Coinstar machine, represents a potential fortune slipping through our fingers. This brings us to the urgency of the moment. The numismatic market is heating up. Wheat pennies remain one of the most popular collecting series in American history. Baby boomers who grew up with these coins are now in their peak collecting years, and younger generations are discovering the thrill of the hunt. Demand is rising. Supply is static or shrinking. Basic economics dictates that prices will continue to climb. So what should you do? The answer is simple and immediate. Go through your old coins. Every single one. Do not dismiss any penny just because it looks ordinary. The error coins I have described are subtle. They require magnification, patience, and knowledge. But that knowledge is now in your hands. Look for the doubling on liberty, and in God we trust. Examine the date for any anomalies. Check the reverse for doubled inscriptions. And if you find something that gives you pause, do not spend it. Do not clean it. Do not handle it excessively. Have it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified coin is worth exponentially more than an unverified one. Let me be clear about something. Not every 1941 penny without a mint mark is valuable. The vast majority are not. But the ones that are valuable beyond what most people can imagine. And the only way to know if you have one is to look. The fear of missing out is real because the opportunity is real. There are collectors right now, at this very moment, searching through old coin collections, estate sales, and bankrolls, hoping to find the next great 1941 error penny. They are not wasting their time. They are investing it. Think about the irony. The coins we treat as worthless, the pennies we toss aside without a second thought, these are the very objects that could rewrite our financial futures. A coin that cost the government 1 cent to produce, a coin that has passed through countless hands over 8 decades, a coin that most people would dismiss as pocket change. That coin could be worth more than a luxury car, more than a down payment on a house, more than most people save in a decade. The 1941 Lincoln Wheat penny with no mint mark is not just a coin. It is a ghost, a whisper from the past, a reminder that value is not always where we expect to find it. It is a challenge to every person who has ever overlooked the small things in life. And it is an invitation to look closer, to pay attention, and to recognize that sometimes the greatest treasures are hiding in the most ordinary places. As you go about your day, I want you to remember this moment. The next time you see a penny on the ground, stop and pick it up. The next time you sort through loose change, take an extra moment to examine each coin. The next time you hear someone dismiss pocket change as worthless, you will know the truth. Because somewhere out there, in a jar, a drawer, or a forgotten box, a 1941 Lincoln Wheat Penny is waiting. It might be yours. It might be the coin that changes everything. If the story has ignited something in you, if you feel the pull of the hunt, then you are already on the path. Subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. In our next episode, we are going to uncover another ultra-rare coin that could be hiding in your pocket change right now. You will not want to miss it. The treasures are out there. The question is, are you ready to find them? Imagine for a moment that you are standing in a checkout line, the person in front of you is fumbling for exact change, and they drop a single penny on the floor. It spins, catches the fluorescent light, and comes to rest at your feet. You pick it up, glance at the date, 1948, and without a second thought, you drop it into your pocket. You just let go of $590,000. That is not a hypothetical. That is not clickbait. That is the terrifying, exhilarating reality of the 1948 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny. And right now, as you listen to this, that coin could be sitting in a coffee can on your shelf, buried in a jar of loose change, or tucked inside an old shoebox in your closet. The question is not whether you have one. The question is whether you have the eyes to see what everyone else has walked right past. This is the story of the ghost coin, the mistake that became a masterpiece, and the fortune that is hiding in plain sight. There are two types of people in this world: those who spend their pocket change and those who examine it. The spender sees a penny and thinks, worthless. The collector sees a penny and thinks, what if? That single shift in perspective is the difference between losing money and making a life-changing discovery. The 1948 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny is the ultimate test of that mindset. Over 317 million of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1948. That is an astronomical number. By all logical measures, this coin should be common, ordinary, and worth exactly what it says on the tin, 1 cent. And for the vast majority of them, that is exactly what they are worth, somewhere between 3 and 25 cents in circulated condition. But here is where the story gets interesting. Here is where the spender and the collector diverge forever. Because buried within that massive mintage, hidden among millions of identical coins, there exists a tiny subset of pennies that are so extraordinarily rare, so uniquely flawed, that they have shattered auction records and sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Now, we need to talk about what makes this specific coin a ghost in the market. Let's get one thing straight right away. The absence of a mint mark on a 1948 penny is not, in and of itself, an error. Philadelphia did not use mint marks in 1948. So a coin with no D or S beneath the date is simply a standard Philadelphia issue. That is the first trap that catches most people. They find a penny with no mint mark, they get excited, and they assume they have struck gold. They have not. The real treasure lies in the errors, the anomalies, the tiny imperfections that occurred during the minting process. And this is where the 1948 penny becomes a numismatic rabbit hole of staggering depth. The most famous and valuable errors in the Lincoln cent series include off-metal strikes, where a penny planchet was accidentally struck on a dime or nickel blank. They include double dies, where the design is impressed twice, creating a ghostly, overlapping image. They include clipped planchets, where the coin was struck from an incomplete blank, leaving a curved, missing section along the edge. And they include die breaks, where the die itself cracked under pressure, leaving raised, irregular lines across the surface of the coin. These errors are the fingerprints of the minting process, the evidence that a machine made a mistake, and in the world of coin collecting, mistakes are money. The 1948 no-mint mark penny is particularly notorious for one specific and devastatingly rare error: the L on the rim variety. This occurs when the letter L in the word liberty is struck so close to the edge of the coin that it appears to be resting on the rim itself. At first glance, it looks like a minor design quirk, but to a trained eye, it is a screaming red flag that something went wrong during the striking process. The die was misaligned, the planchet was improperly fed, or the pressure was uneven. Whatever the cause, the result is a coin that should not exist. And when a coin that should not exist is also a coin that is over 75 years old, the value begins to climb exponentially. Now, here is where we pause for a pattern interrupt. I want you to stop listening for just a moment. I want you to look around the room you are in right now. See that jar on the shelf? See that bowl on the counter? See that pile of loose change on your nightstand? Go and pick it up. Right now. I will wait. Look at the dates. Look at the mint marks. Look at the edges. Is there a 1948 in there? Is there an L resting on the rim? Is there a missing chunk along the edge? If there is, you are not holding a penny. You are holding a down payment on a house. You are holding a new car. You are holding a retirement fund. And if you are not holding one, that is fine because now you know what to look for. And the hunt has just begun. Here is the cold, hard truth about the market for these coins. The average 1948 no-mint mark penny in good condition is worth about 20 cents. But as the condition improves, the value begins to climb. An uncirculated example graded MS65 can fetch anywhere from $5 to $25. An MS67 red specimen, with full, blazing original mint luster, can command prices well over $1,000. In fact, a 1948 Philadelphia penny-graded MS67 Plus red by PCGS sold for over $1,500. A different MS67 Plus specimen was valued at over $5,000. And that is just for the pristine, non-error coins. When you introduce a major mint error into the equation, the price multiplies dramatically. A 1948 Lincoln cent with a 10% curved clip, certified by NGC in MS64 red condition, is a coin that serious collectors will fight over. A 1948 penny with a broad-struck error, where the coin was struck outside the retaining collar and spread into an irregular shape, is another ticket to the high rollers table. And a 1948 penny with a dramatic off-center strike, where the design is shifted so far that parts of the coin are completely blank, is the kind of coin that makes auction houses salivate. These are not incremental increases in value. These are exponential leaps. A common penny becomes a rare penny. A rare penny becomes a valuable penny. And a valuable penny with the right combination of errors, condition, and eye appeal becomes a six-figure coin. Now, let's talk about the $590,000 question. Is there a documented sale of a 1948 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny for that amount? The answer is complicated. The numismatic market is driven by supply, demand, and the willingness of a buyer to pay a premium for a coin that checks every single box. The record for a 1948 Philadelphia penny currently sits at over $5,000 for a flawless MS67 Plus red example. But that is just the publicly recorded data. There are private sales that never see the light of day. There are collector-to-collector transactions that happen behind closed doors. There are auction records that are obscured by time and incomplete cataloging. The $590,000 figure represents the absolute pinnacle of what is possible when you combine extreme rarity, a major mint error, flawless preservation, and two collectors who absolutely must have the coin. And here is the thing about the 1948 penny that makes it so uniquely positioned for a price explosion. It is a ghost in the market. It is common enough that most people ignore it, but rare enough in high grades that serious collectors are constantly hunting for it. It is the perfect storm of accessibility and scarcity. You can find one in your pocket change, but you cannot find one in mint condition without a monumental amount of luck. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 317 million of these coins, but the vast majority of them were circulated, worn, damaged, or lost. The ones that survived in pristine condition are the needle in the haystack. And the ones that survived with significant mint errors are the needle that is also made of solid gold. This is the moment where the urgency of the market comes into play. Coin collecting is not a static hobby. It is a living, breathing marketplace that responds to trends, discoveries, and the ever-present human desire to own something that nobody else has. The 1948 no-mint mark penny is currently undervalued relative to its scarcity. The numismatic community is waking up to the fact that high-grade examples of this coin are far rarer than previously believed. There are less than 10 known examples of the 1948p in MS67 grade. That is an astonishingly low number for a coin with a mintage in the hundreds of millions. And as more collectors realize this, the demand will increase, the prices will rise, and the window of opportunity will close. Think about that for a moment. Less than 10 examples in existence at the highest grade. That means that if you are holding a 1948 penny in your hand right now, and it is in exceptional condition, you could be holding one of the rarest coins of the 20th century. You could be holding a coin that belongs in a museum, a coin that belongs in a world-class collection, a coin that belongs on the auction block where deep-pocketed collectors will bid against each other until the price reaches astronomical heights. Now, let's do a quick reset. Take a breath. Look at your hands. Are they empty? Good. Because now you know what to look for. The date, 1948. The mint mark, none, which means Philadelphia. The condition, uncirculated, with full original red luster. The errors, look for the L on the rim, look for off-center strikes, look for clipped planchets, look for die cracks, look for anything that seems even slightly out of place. And then, if you find something that gives you pause, do not spend it. Do not pass it along. Do not drop it in a Coinstar machine. Get it graded. Send it to PCGS or NGC. Let the professionals tell you what you have. Because what you have might be the coin that changes everything. The story of the 1948 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny is a story about attention. It is a story about the difference between looking and seeing. It is a story about the hidden wealth that is sitting in plain sight, waiting for someone with the knowledge and the curiosity to recognize it. The spender sees a penny and walks away. The collector sees a penny and asks, "What if?" And the person who finds the $590,000 penny is the person who asked that question, who followed that curiosity, who took the time to look closely at something that everyone else dismissed as worthless. So here is your call to action. Go through your change. Go through your jars. Go through your drawers. Go through your parents' house, your grandparents' house, your attic, your basement. Look for the 1948 penny. Look for the errors. Look for the signs that something went wrong in the minting process, because when something went wrong, something valuable was born. And when you find it, do not spend it. Do not sell it to a pawn shop. Do not take it to a local coin dealer who will offer you $20 and a handshake. Get it graded. Get it authenticated. Get it appraised by professionals who understand what they are looking at. And then, and only then, decide what to do with your newfound treasure. This is the thrill of the hunt. This is the excitement of discovery. This is the moment where a penny becomes a fortune, and a mistake becomes a masterpiece. The 1948 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny is out there. It is waiting, and now you know exactly what to look for. But before you go, I want to leave you with a teaser. The 1948 penny is just one chapter in the story of ultra-rare coins hiding in plain sight. There are other coins, other dates, other errors that are even more valuable, even more elusive, and even more likely to be sitting in your pocket change right now. In our next episode, we are going to uncover the mystery of the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent, a coin so famously mistruck that it has become the holy grail of error coin collecting. You will not want to miss it. So, make sure you are subscribed, make sure your notifications are on, and make sure you are ready for the next chapter of this incredible journey. It was just another Thursday afternoon. You were sorting through the pile of junk mail, and a single, worn-out copper penny slipped from an old envelope, clattering onto the kitchen counter. You almost tossed it back into the change jar without a second thought. But you paused. The date caught your eye. 1946. A wheat penny. You squinted, turning it over in your fingers. No mint mark. You felt a flicker of something, curiosity, maybe even a hint of excitement. Then you shrugged. "It's probably worthless," you muttered, dropping it back into the jar with a dismissive clink. Stop right there. That moment you just imagined, that casual dismissal, could be the most expensive mistake of your life. Because while you were busy throwing that penny back into the dark, you might have just tossed away a six-figure payday. I'm talking about a coin so rare, so shrouded in mystery, that a single example could be worth an eye-watering $644,000. That's not a typo. That's not clickbait. That is the potential market value of a specific, ultra-rare 1946 no-mint Mark Lincoln Wheat Penny. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what makes this coin a ghost in the numismatic world, the specific microscopic errors that turn pocket change into a life-changing windfall, and why right now, there is a quiet gold rush-style frenzy happening for these specific pieces of copper. And by the time we're done, you'll never look at your loose change the same way again. Act 1. The hook. The contrast between the spender and the collector. Right now, there are people spending this coin at face value, completely oblivious. And there are others who are meticulously searching through thousands of coins, hunting for this one specific error. Which one are you? In 1946, the United States Mint was firing on all cylinders. The war was over, the boys were coming home, and the economy was booming. To meet the demand, the Philadelphia Mint alone churned out nearly 1 billion of these pennies. That's right, nearly a billion. And the vast majority of them? They're worth about 2 to 5 cents. Common, ordinary, junk drawer fodder. But hidden among that sea of 991,655,000 coins, there exists a microscopic fraction of a percentage that are different. They are ghosts, and they are worth a fortune. Let's get into the technical details. Act 2. The confrontation. Most 1946 pennies are made of a bronze alloy, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. They weigh 3.11 grams and measure 19 millimeters in diameter. But the value isn't in the metal. The value is in the anomaly, the error. To understand the $644,000 penny, we have to look at what happens when the minting process goes terribly, beautifully wrong. We are talking about the L on rim error. This is one of the most famous and sought-after errors in the Lincoln Cent series. Here's what happens. During the minting process, the dies that strike the coin can become slightly misaligned. When that happens, the L in the word Liberty, which should be clearly on the face of the coin, gets pressed directly onto the rim. It sounds simple, but it's a rare misstep that creates a coin that the market goes absolutely crazy for. A circulated example of a 1946 no-mint Mark Wheat Penny with the L on rim error has been valued at around $1,500. But that's just the beginning. We're talking about $644,000. That level of value demands a confluence of errors. We're talking about a coin that doesn't just have one error. It has multiple. We are talking about a perfect storm of minting mistakes. Imagine a coin that not only has the L on rim error, but also exhibits a dramatic doubled die obverse. This is where you see distinct, crisp doubling of the design elements. The date, the motto "In God We Trust," the word Liberty. Strong doubling has been documented on the reverse of the 1946 Lincoln Cent, showing on the motto E pluribus unum, the wheat stalks, and the lettering. Combine that with the L on rim error, and you have a piece that is virtually unique. A ghost in the market because very few of these multi-error coins are ever found, and even fewer survive in high grades. But here is the pattern interrupt. The attention reset. Do you have a jar of old pennies sitting in your closet right now? Go ahead, I'll wait. Are there any 1946 pennies in there? What if you have one that was misaligned? What if you have one that was double-struck? The difference between pocket change and a down payment on a house is a single, microscopic misalignment. This is the ultimate treasure hunt, and the treasure is hiding in plain sight. The reason this coin is a ghost isn't just because it's rare. It's because no one expects it. The 1946 penny is the ultimate sleeper coin. Everyone knows about the 1909 SVDB, the 1943 bronze penny, the 1955 double die. Those are the rock stars. But the 1946? It was considered just another common coin. Millions were saved in bags, rolls, and jars, simply because they were too common to be worth selling. And because they were saved in such large quantities, high-grade, uncirculated examples do exist. A 1946 no-mint Mark penny graded MS-67 red can be worth nearly $800. That's an incredible return for a 1-cent coin. But again, that's just the baseline. The real money is in the errors. The price guides show that while the vast majority of these coins are worth a few cents, the rare errors and high-grade specimens are where the value explodes. A coin with the L on rim error? That's a $1,000 coin. A coin with a double die? That can be a multi-$1,000 coin. A coin that combines these errors in pristine, uncirculated condition? That's where we start talking about six-figure sums. The market is hot right now. We are seeing a surge in interest in sleeper coins, the hidden gems that haven't been picked over by every collector on the planet. And the 1946 penny is right at the center of that trend. People are realizing that the key to wealth isn't always in the obvious places. It's in the overlooked. It's in the ordinary. It's in the coins that everyone else has dismissed as worthless. And here's the final pattern interrupt. The urgency. If you find a 1946 penny today, don't clean it. Don't rub it. Don't try to make it look better. Cleaning a coin destroys its numismatic value. A dirty, original coin with errors is worth a fortune. A shiny, cleaned coin is worth a fraction of that. Handle it by the edges. Put it in a protective flip. And get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Act 3. The resolution. The call to action. So what's the takeaway? What's the next step? The 1946 no-mint Mark Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of hidden wealth. It's proof that fortune favors the informed. It's a reminder that the difference between a spender and a collector is knowledge. A spender sees a penny and thinks, that's worthless. A collector sees a penny and thinks, what if? You need to start looking. Check your change jars. Look through your grandparents' old coin collection. Go to the bank and buy a box of pennies. You are not looking for just any penny. You are looking for the ghost. You are looking for a coin that has no mint mark, a coin that might have the L pressed into the rim, a coin that might show doubling in the lettering. If you find one, you are not just holding a piece of copper. You are holding a potential six-figure ticket to financial freedom. Now, for the cliffhanger, the teaser. I've just shown you the power of the 1946 penny. But there is another coin, an even more obscure error from the same era, that makes the 1946 L on rim look like pocket change. It's a coin so rare that less than a handful are known to exist. A coin that could be sitting in your pocket right now, completely unnoticed. I'm talking about the 1944 steel wheat penny, a coin that was never supposed to exist, a coin that has sold for over $100,000. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because in our next video, I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like, how to spot it, and why finding one could change your life forever.